Do you not know death when you see it, old man? This is my power.
Welcome, everybody. And today we're going to be, this was kind of my weekly, and he has vanished. Okay. It's going to, chat with, World of Plantos. Oh, okay, lovely. And, allow me to bring me on before he runs away. Welcome, Alex of World of Planetos.
Sorry, I accidentally turned my mic off. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well.
Alrighty. So, today we're just going to be talking about kind of a general discussion of The Boys Season 1. So, kind of like right now, Season 1, Season 2 is going on, so I figure that I might as well capitalize on it a little bit. Basically, The Boys is, to kind of give a setup, The Boys is a grimdark superhero show where basically it's taking a look at what would actually happen if superheroes were real and were in the general population. Basically, they would become mega superstars, be put into movies, be put into made celebrities, have contracts, and also they would be gigantic, horrible people.
Well, I'm not entirely sure that everyone would be, bad people. To me, I think it's sort of like society as a whole, where you're going to have people who abuse the power in which they get, and people who are honestly good people, and then you have the whole gray area. And I think I love The Boys as a television show, but I don't think I think it is what Marvel is, like, as like rainbows and stuff, and The Boys is just like all gritty darkness. I feel like they both fail to capture an actual realism. Like, an actual realism to me would be, yes, it'd be good, but yes, I don't think they'd allow someone like Homelander to be on the team knowing that he's a PR nightmare waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's sort of like you have a medium that no one's reached yet, like you have on the left, you have Marvel, which everything's like goody two shoes and stuff like that. You have DC, sort of. It's not a medium. It's sort of in the Marvel area of like superheroes exist, but it's not like how superheroes would actually exist. And then on the right, you have The Boys, but there's really no middle for me. And I really wish we'd eventually get a middle, because a middle would be like how superheroes would really be that's what The Boys like, how superheroes would really be, but ultimately it would never be that gritty, and they would never be dumb enough to let super terrorists be made, because that's a cluster mess waiting to happen. Don't you there?
Yep, I'm there. I think a lot of it is kind of like, I think that John Lumley actually got a good point. What if superheroes were product and brand assets?
Yeah, that's fair. Which is why I also think Homelander would never be able to stay in this season Stormfront, because if they knowingly know what's going on, it's like having a brand and the person's a murderer. Like, let's say you have this famous singer, one of the most famous singers in the world, looked up to by many, and secretly she's a serial killer or just doesn't give a shit and stuff like that. Like, that's she is going to go down in flames because it's all about PR and you have to manage that. And I think, yes, it's brands and assets and all that type of stuff. And Homelander on the loose would be absolutely horrible. But you think because they fine tuned him sort of in a lab, they'd do better to make sure he was less
Docile.
sociopathical, more.
We have another person in the stream. Let me bring them up.
行くわよ来世の試練よ
Hi guys.
Hi.
Sorry I was late earlier.
Oh, no worries at all. So
Okay.
I think that Alex, this will actually give us a good opportunity because essentially now we can basically, Neph can basically ask us questions about the boys, and we can pitch it to her, and that'll kind of give the stream a little bit more organization because we're trying to explain. Rather than kind of like just jawing about the show, we can kind of like actually like get into the granular details of why we like it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Let's start with a synopsis of it, what it is then.
Okay.
I can get that.
Well, I
Unless
can
you
do
already
that.
have it.
Oh, I just have the show memorized. I've seen it twice, and I just have an eidetic memory for media.
All right, I'm just gonna say the premise of the show, if that's okay, of season
for it.
one.
That's fine.
Go
All
for
right,
it.
so the boys is set in a universe where superpowered individuals are recognized as heroes by the general public and work for the powerful corporation Vault International, which markets and monetizes them. Outside of their heroic personas, most are arrogant and corrupt. The series primarily focuses on two groups: the Seven, Vault International's premier superhero team, and the titular Boys, vigilantes looking to bring down Vault and the corrupt superheroes. The Boys are led by Billy Butcher, who despises all superpowered people, and the Seven are led by the narcissistic and violent Homelander. As a conflict ensues between the two groups, the series follows the new members of each team. Hugh Campbell of the Boys joins the Vigilantes after his girlfriend is killed by one of the Seven, and Annie January, whose superhero name is Starlight, of the Seven, a young and hopeful heroine, I can't speak tonight, forced to face the truth about the superheroes she admires. And then, so you have, and the other characters, I guess the members of the Seven are Queen Maeve, A-Train, the Deep,
Basically,
or the Deep at one point, sort of now in.
Basically, the
Sorry, go
Seven
on.
basically the Seven is a parody of the Justice League, or they're analogs of the Justice League.
Oh yeah, for sure. Though I'm sort of still confused about who Black Noir is in regards
Batman.
to the Justice.
Black Noir is
That's fair.
Batman.
That's fair. But you also have Tech Knight in the comics, who's like Batman and Iron Man rolled into one.
Well,
I
if
really
we're
hope-
going with the analogy of the Deep is Aquaman, Homelander is Superman, Queen Maeve is Wonder Woman.
Who is Starlight actually?
I think Starlight's just like somebody they brought in. I think that maybe Starlight is like Supergirl.
Maybe yeah, I guess that is possible. And I guess who else is in there? A-Train's the Flash, and there's one more member of the Seven, isn't there?
Black Noir.
No,
It's
we
just
just said,
Black-
yeah.
and the Invisible Man. The Invisible
yeah.
Man Translucent.
Who's that after? Sort of.
I think probably just one of the Invisible Men, though he also has Superman's
Yeah.
diamond skin.
Yeah, or like I guess maybe it's an Emma Frost type character, except no reading the mind. Maybe.
Yeah. But essentially,
No-
like,
I was actually thinking that sounds like one of the characters from Fantastic Four.
didn't I say that?
Oh, yeah,
Didn't I
that's
say that? Didn't I say that Maeve was Wonder Woman?
yeah. Sue Storm, Fantastic Four, the Human Torch, the Thing, Mr.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Sue Storm.
Yeah.
No, we already said Queen Maeve, I think. And we also have Liberty, or Stormfront in Season 2, and she's sort of like, who is she like? She's not Thor.
Well, this was so to kind of set up. This is based on a comic book by a guy named Garth Ennis, and Garth Ennis wrote this. He wrote Preacher, which is apparently a very dark series, and then he decided that I'm going to out Preacher, and made The Boys. And the opening basically is him is The Boys kind of discuss Huey, who kind of is based on Simon Pegg in terms of his appearance, and it's cool that Simon Pegg actually appears on the show. But basically, it starts off with the boys mutilating various superheroes, or at least in a very darkly comedic way. Like Wonder Woman is kind of sitting there with her face off. The Hulk's testicles are held up by Mother's Milk, another of the boys, holding it with a pair of pliers, and I can't remember what else, but those are the ones that stood out to me. It's very dark comic, and they kind of a little bit of the violence, but there's still a lot of violence in the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's very dark.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by unrealistic. I really hope in my lifetime we actually get an actual medium of how things might be, because that is way too dark than would it ever be in real life.
What do you think it would be then?
I think a medium would be, you might have an element like Homelander or Stormfront in the bunch, but ultimately the rest would be gray to white, but more on a whitish scale, I guess. More like, I guess, in terms of morality and evilness, because I honestly don't think, especially Stan Edgar, I honestly wonder why, like, he puts up with all the bullshit that they do. I'm just like, that is a PR nightmare waiting to happen. Like, freaking vet the people, I know he probably doesn't care. He's like, we're not a superhero company. We are a pharmaceutical company. But I think the one thing that this gets wrong is, especially in this day and age, how shit doesn't get out. Whether it be in the military or be classified information, it always gets out. And considering they've been doing this for decades or nearly a century, it's just like, how has this stuff not gotten out?
Okay, I've got a question. Why can't our superheroes be light and fluffy and comedic? Why do they always have to be dark and gritty and dark humor with no light at the end of the tunnel?
Do you want to take this?
Because that's always what you get these days.
I think it is a black comedy in a lot of ways. I think that's kind of how it is. But I'd say that in terms of, I don't know if it's like dark, it's just like leading into superheroes, like what might happen, because sometimes like power is given to people who don't deserve it. And it just seems as though a lot of people kind of just are messed up by the celebrity attention, since a lot of the superpowers manifest when they're kids.
Well, technically, they don't manifest when they're kids. It's not natural. They get injected with Compound V, then they get powers.
Babies.
Yes,
when they're babies.
But actually, no, I don't want to say this because this is season 2 spoilers. Unless you guys do not mind season 2 spoilers.
I'm probably not ever going to watch it anyway, so I don't care.
This is for the next episode done, so if you don't want to reveal it, it sort of pivots your point you made right there.
It's actually, if it's for the next episode, yeah, let's keep it to, let's kind of keep things to season 1.
All right, that's fair.
Since we're only talking about season 1, we'll just kind of let it be. I think that part of the thing was they kind of like, I think because kind of Marvel is so
babyish.
Prominent. I don't think, not necessarily babyish, but it's so prominent.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's kind of a sanitized version of what superheroes would be like. Since a lot of the superheroes, like Starlight, I think is an exception because she had a lot of attention thrown at her from a young age. But it seems as though she's matured and developed relatively well, as opposed to somebody like A-Train who seems like maybe he was spoiled, but there also might be a possibility that he wasn't brought up with money, and he based on some of his lines.
I mean, I
But-
think A-Train's a bigger narcissist than Homelander in season 1. He's like, I'm fucking A-Train, baby.
I think a lot of that's probably like a lot of insecurity because he knows he's the loser and that he's trying to use Compound V to shoot himself up.
And he
For-
also
for-
knows he's losing it. He's the disposable member, Mr. Marathon, like the speedrunners are always the disposable members because it's like Olympics. You can't do it long, otherwise the body starts to suffer.
Yeah.
Or
Basically, Compound V is a superpower gifting drug along with a superhero enhancement drug, but it wears off, and the more you take of it, the more your body starts to be taking a toll. So the plot kind of starts off as kind of the kickoff is when Huey and his girlfriend are just kind of walking home from his work, and abruptly A-Train, the Flash, runs through her, leaving only a splatter of blood on the pavement. And he just runs off.
and the hands. You can't forget the hands.
Yeah, he's holding her hands. Just her hands. Yeah,
Okay, so why?
because
Sorry,
A-Train
you were
was
going?
running so... Basically, A-Train was high on Compound V, and then he runs right through her because he's just running so fast he turns her to paste because he didn't see her. Oh, nice. I'm glad that you enjoyed the Narnia stream. That one was great.
Yeah, Narnia was fun.
Sorry for not muting my mic. I didn't realize that my sister was working on costumes or something. Maybe I'll edit it. Since yeah, that was a fun one. I don't know how much fun like Prince Caspian is going to be since there's not as much like funny stuff. We'll have to see. We'll have to see about that tomorrow. Thankfully, it's only like an hour long, and I need to get some school stuff done. But anyway,
Sucks.
oh, you haven't been to college yet. It's much more difficult.
Oh, I know that, and I'm already sick of it.
Uh,
Though at least
sure, you
they're...
may only have one to two classes a day, if that. But yeah, they give you a lot more homework, and it's a lot harder.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely be happy once I'm done with this semester to just like go off and try and like either work on investing or just writing as much as I can because I want to get some stuff done for the publishing season. Ah, okay, we got a new person in the chat. Welcome. Welcome.
Hi.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of like,
Hola?
and so, yeah. You didn't know I was. I just have one more semester, and then I'm done with my bachelor's. So,
Says Mr. I just started my semester.
Yeah. The book is on the table. I don't understand. You'll have to.
I think he doesn't do English very well.
Did he buy you a
That's
book
what
and
he
it's...
said.
Did he maybe buy you a book and it's on the table or something?
Maybe. But we do have, and then after my bachelor's is in history. So,
Ah, nice.
so in terms of the plot being kicked off, we have the death of Robin, his girlfriend, and then his he comes into contact with Billy Butcher, the best character in the show, or at least my favorite character in the
Oh,
With a name like that.
show. And he's played by Carl Urban, uh, Bones from Star Trek, Judge Dredd, and Eomer.
I gotta say, I disagree about the favorite character. I think Homelander is the best character.
Oh, I
I-
like Homelander, and I think that Anthony Starr is the best actor in the show, but I think
Yeah.
that Carl Urban is still like an absolute legend and has some of the best lines.
Though I gotta say, if we're talking about the best character in the show, including season 2, I love Stormfront. Like, I love to hate her.
Yeah, she's interesting, but we'll keep let's keep to just
Season 1, yes,
Yeah, let's
yes.
keep to season 1. But after he comes into contact with Billy Butcher says, "Alrighty, you want to get back to them supers? I'm gonna help you get back at them supers." And
Yeah.
and it's very much it's almost more like, what if the Justice League were villains and a bunch of normal guys have to go after them? And the first episode, we do see that there are not necessarily all bad superheroes, because we have Annie, or Starlight, who is a good person.
And I'd argue that Maeve is also a pretty good person, to be honest.
Yeah, she's just really cynical and jaded. Just
Can-
hates this whole system.
I don't really think she's evil, to be honest. I think she's good. Like, I'd say she's probably gray, but way more towards the white than the black.
That's why I say she's cynical.
Yeah, I like the cynicalism, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I don't say I didn't like it. I'm just saying as an observation of fact that she is a cynical person.
Though I wish we got more scenes with her in it. We get like one scene in an episode and that's it. And I'm just like, can we get some more Queen Maeve, please? Like, can you just like... And a lot of times it's only a minute or two, and I'm just like, can you please give us some more?
Yeah. And kind of just like
So
a lot of
she's
like
contender for best girl then.
Yeah, I really like the female Kumiko, just kind of because the actress Sarah Kamura, I believe is her name, plays her really well. Despite like she can't talk, her character is mute, so most of like her.
Well, actually, she chooses not to talk, right?
No, she cannot talk. Like even in like season 2, like she uses sign language.
Because she refuses to talk, that's what they said.
Oh. Okay.
She never
that-
talked since the village burned down. She hasn't talked since.
Oh, I thought she was mute. Okay.
I don't think so, at least. They never said she can't talk. I believe they said she chooses not to talk.
Okay.
What language is that? New guy is speaking something other than
I
English,
believe-
and I don't
Portuguese.
Oh, okay. It's Portuguese. Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was Spanish for a second, but yeah, it's probably Portuguese. I think.
Comey activates the subtitles? I don't know what that means.
recognize.
I do think that a lot of the strength of the show is from the actors and the a lot of the just like unwillingness to flinch from just about anything. I think that's a big thing about The Boys that really makes it stand out from a lot of other things. Is basically, what if we applied kind of some of the twists of Game of Thrones and the what is it? The twists and gore of Game of Thrones to a superhero show.
Yeah, I think this is way more gory than Game of Thrones, to be honest.
There's more blood for sure.
And action.
Yeah, true.
And
But
it's good how we
kinda-
have a qualified showrunner. Eric
Yeah.
Griffin's going to be a success and be like, well, if I don't like this show anymore, I'm just going to leave, like he did with Supernatural, and then it sort of went to crap.
Okay, so it is Portuguese. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay. I'll wait till I can't put up subtitles. I wish I could, but I can't. Yeah. I think, and kind of like as we kind of go through the show, we kind of get a look into kind of like how celebrity ship has messed up these superheroes. Like the only person who seems like relatively well adjusted is Black Noir, but that's kind of because Black Noir isn't necessarily like a person. Like he's more of an automaton in some ways.
Black Noir's the best. I think it's the best part of the show, to be honest. Black Noir. Just
Yeah.
the small moments, just hilarious. I'm just like, I would pay $10 a month just for a Black Noir show. Just 20 minutes of Black Noir, 8 episodes. I'd pay for that. Wouldn't be any talking really, just Black Noir.
Yeah, that would be cool, and you can basically just put anybody in the suit. It'd be really cheap.
Well, actually, he does have an actual actor playing Black Noir.
What's his name?
But does he talk?
Nathan Mitchell. Nathan
Yeah.
Mitchell talks, not Black Noir.
Yeah.
There's some funny behind the scenes of Black Noir from season 1, where you actually hear him talking, or the actor talking, not Black Noir.
What other questions did you have, Neph? Kind of just about the show.
Well, I've heard people talking about it, and I just... Okay, it's a group of vigilante supers versus corporate supers.
Well, they're not
How is
supers.
that interesting?
They're not even supers. They're
Yeah,
normal people.
So it's basically J. Jonah Jameson against Superman. Kind of.
Sort of. If J. Jonah Jameson was like really fucking gruesome and just didn't give a crap, I
Was
sort
it-
of think.
And was former CIA agent,
Isn't it FBI?
FBI or something.
I think it's the FBI. I said FBI in my.
Oh.
Ooh, do you mind if I link my
Sorry.
review video for the boys
Yep,
that I
go for
did for the?
Sorry.
that-
We are aware that Portuguese is very different than Spanish, but sometimes we can't tell which just by reading it. I know a little bit of Spanish. I know no Portuguese, but
I
Yeah,
know.
my friend.
I know Spanish too, but night.
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
Oh. Ew. Thank you for
Yeah.
giving me that image. Now I need some brain bleach text. Ugh.
Yeah. But I think the part of it is just like a small group of basically a heist team going up against a bunch of superheroes. You have the kind of the gruff bruiser leader. You have kind of the new kid Huey, who's kind of a tech guy. Then you have Mother's Milk, that is his actual name, who is kind of like the guy with connections. And then you have Frenchie, who's the weapons guy, weapons and explosives guy. And then you have eventually they're joined by the female who becomes the muscle.
I'd like to say I don't think that Huey is the tech guy. I'd say that's more Frenchie as well. I'd say Huey's sort of like the person who keeps the boys in check and also just helps, I don't see he has this really specific role other than to make sure they don't go too far. Because
he does set up the computers in Pop Claw's house.
that is true, and he did work at a tech place, but I wouldn't say he's truly. I'd say he's a tech guy, but in regards to the team, I'd say it's more Frenchie. That's the tech guy.
Yeah, or at least
So
like he has.
Frenchie's assistant.
What? Sorry.
Frenchie's assistant.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, especially because he's calling Petit Huey a lot.
Petit Chewie.
You did a much better impression than I ever could. Huey? It's like, yeah, Huey is the glue guy. John is right there. He's the guy. Make sure they don't go too far. He keeps them all in check. He keeps them all together. He isn't wrong about that.
Mhm.
I want to say moral compass, but no, I don't think.
Oh no, no one has a moral compass in this show. No one. I don't even think Starlight really has a moral compass on point with the world that as we know it. Because I don't think anyone really can, especially when superheroes exist. It's a different world.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of this, like Starlight is kind of like an idealist, and kind of, but she has some of her ideals shattered when the Deep says basically blackmails her into giving him a blowjob.
Yeah. And I also think that Maeve, as we know, she said this herself, and I really believe it, knowing how she acts. She is truly old Starlight. Like, this would be like Starlight if she was in the 10 years from now and she didn't meet the boys. Like, she would totally be like Maeve. Because Maeve just was like Starlight at one point. She's just given up now. She's just like, fuck this. I can't do anything. But now she's like, well, guess what? You mess with Elena now. Well, I guess that's season 2, so I won't say anything about that, but you get the point.
She does have a girlfriend or ex-girlfriend that she is very scared for, because for whatever reason, Homelander, even though he likes the
Stillwell in the first season.
Madeline Stillwell, yeah, he still likes Maeve and kind of wants to own and control her in a way.
Wants to own and control everyone. He really gets sick of the lies, which I guess anyone could be sick of the lies, but, you know, he really just needs everyone to be under his control. Like, if you don't do it, I am going to fucking smash your face against the wall or something like that. You know, I gotta say, the VFX on this show is fantastic, and I just love the show.
Yeah. I think, like, for reference, Homelander is the Superman parallel, though he does have the, like, literal stars and stripes.
I will be right back.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah. But essentially, like, that's a lot of the show is basically like, what if Marvel was hard R rated and but it wasn't, but not like grim dark like like something like Batman v Superman, where there's no humor at all. It's kind of just boring for most of the way through. The Boys, like, actually is funny, but it's funny in kind of a twisted way.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just like I think one of my favorite scenes is, and this isn't season 2, but it's so funny because Homelander's about to have Starlight kill Huey, and Homelander or Butcher saves Huey, and he's like, "Oi, cunt!" And then not Butcher. Homelander looks at Butcher and is like, "William, what a surprise!" And then he almost kills him, and he's like, then cars come down on him, but it's like really funny, and he's like, "Oh, I just had breakfast with your wife this morning, delicious," because they kidnapped his wife, and it's just like hilarious because it's such dark humor.
Me that it's more like superheroes on drugs rather than anything else.
Well, drugs at first, most of them don't. Well, really, none of them take drugs afterwards. Like, I think, do they get like one dosage or multiple dosage as kids, and then that's it?
I know A-Train shoots it up all the time. Same with
Yeah,
Pop Claw.
because he wants to get faster. And yes, it is a pleasure drug, but maybe, you know, I think
It's also
A-Train does it to keep his speed. Yeah, it's very much. But most superheroes that we know of do not take Compound V past their childhood or past a couple of dosages when they're a baby.
Sounds kind of like it has side effects that have to do with brain chemistry.
That's an interesting idea, but I like maybe. But Stormfront seems pretty, sane in the head other than being a Nazi. Like she can think well. She's cunning. She is like not Homelander levels of crazy. She knows what the hell she's doing. And Starlight, is good. Like knows what she's doing, and Maeve knows what she's doing. So I don't. I guess it's a possible side effect because they even said like some people die, some people explode, some people get superpowers when they get it. It can be a mixed reaction. It's not a perfect science, unfortunately.
I think that one of the problems is a lot of it's going to be upbringing, where it does seem as though Starlight had a relatively well-adjusted childhood, but Homelander did not. He was basically brought up in a sterile, empty room with nobody really to take care of him.
He's got to get fucking bored. I'd get bored out of my mind if I didn't have something to do with if I was without something to do really for an hour. Like he had a blanket. What the fuck did he do all day long? How did he even learn he had powers? To be honest.
Well, he was probably in there for a long, long time.
I want a prequel show. I know they announced a spin-off show today, but I want a prequel show.
Really? Okay.
It's like Hunger Games. It's here. I'll get the synopsis up.
But yeah,
I don't think it's going to be good, to be honest. It does not, and they're fast tracking it too. But it is. Here's how they describe it. It is. Hold on. Yada yada.
It does seem as though this time around, Amazon is experimenting with kind of new things and doing weekly release because they know that weekly releases build up more hype for their shows.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shows in general.
This got nearly double the viewership, over 89% more viewers than season 1.
And a lot of that is the weekly release model.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, go on.
And I'm thinking that because of this, Amazon is going to start becoming network television in a way, where they release week to week, what with HBO. Because a lot of the reason why Game of Thrones was really successful was because it was a water cooler show, and it was released weekly, and you could just chat with your friends over what could happen. It also makes it easier for content creators to build hype by reviewing each episode individually because everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. And I hope they do the same thing with the comedy shows because Amazon's fire in regards to comedy, Fleabag, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, they have been sweeping the comedy Emmy Awards the last couple of years, and I think if they were to do that, they'd get a lot more viewers. And by the way, here, do you want the explanation for the show?
Yeah, sure. What's the spinoff?
It's set at America's only college exclusively for young adult superheroes and run by Vought International. The Untitled Boys spinoff is described as an irreverent, R-rated series that explores the lives of hormonal competitive supes as they put the physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to the test, competing for the best contracts in the best cities. Part college show, part Hunger Games, with all the heart, satire, and raunch of the boys. Which I think is going to fail because the whole point that makes the boys special is because we have all these special characters, and who are the main leads going to be for the show? What is the point of the show?
This seems like it's a combination of Marvel, Animal House, and Hunger Games.
I know, but I'm the Hunger Games, they took down someone at the end, didn't they? I never watched the Hunger Games, but they killed.
Well, maybe maybe Entourage, since they're trying to get basically the superheroes are the entertainment industry in the show.
But the thing is, I don't know, with the boys, you sort of got the plot, and you sort of know somehow how it's going to end. I have no idea how this is going to start, what the point of the show is, what the middle of the show is, and how is it going to end.
So Neph, we're probably very much confusing you because we're jumping all over the place. I'm sorry. What other questions do you have?
Well, keep this in mind. I'm not someone who likes grimdark, so you're kind of not convincing me to watch it.
Oh no, you're fine. You're totally fine. I knew that it would be kind of your I can't do subtitles. I'm very sorry. That's utterly impossible for me. I can't do that.
Yeah, let me see if I can translate it.
I'm very sorry. I wish that I could, but I don't have the capability of doing subtitles. Titles.
Let's see how this works. Alright, this should work. If you write translator. Why does it keep coming and going? I don't know why. You said. Oh no, John. Homelander is crazy. He is like.
I don't think that he is crazy. He knows how to play to play to the crowd. He knows at least like some at least like how to fake being human.
Yeah. But in season 2, he's definitely crazy.
I think that
Yeah.
the mask is kind of slipping because he just doesn't have empathy, and he doesn't have like a lot of what is it? Like he doesn't have restrictions in his brain that tells him not to do things.
I think we should probably combine our things and say he is losing his mask because he has no empathy and he is starting to go more and more crazy. Does that sound good?
I think that that's fair.
We combine all three of our thoughts.
Yeah. So, and I think that like a lot of it, I think the strength of the show is very much the actors because Carl Urban and the guy who plays Homelander,
Anthony Starr.
Anthony Starr, both of them are excellent in their respective roles.
And they're both Australian or Oceanic, I guess I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the part of it is just like the range, because Homelander has a lot of range as a character. Like he can play like the Captain America inspiring type, the kind of mama's boy Oedipal boy, I guess, for Madeline Stillwell, and the but also the angry, shouty, frustrated guy. And then the cold, dead-eyed psychopath who is willing to kill anybody. And I do think that like I think that if you like grim dark, The Boys is definitely right up your alley. And this is probably like all over the place, really disjointed. This will probably mostly make sense to people who have already watched it. For that, I apologize. But I think that like a lot of the show, it's built in such a way that it's more just like it's very much a crime drama where the superheroes are the bad guys and they're trying to get the find a way to bring down the superheroes by discrediting them. And so initially they try to they manage to capture Translucent, and they interrogate him, and they figure out like they put him in a room that's designed to reflect Homelander's X-ray vision, and put him in like an electric cage because the guy's skin turns into a metal polymer that makes him invisible. So they shock him in order to keep him asleep or keep him contained.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I really gotta rewatch season 1 I don't mean to keep interrupting, or interrupt. I think it's part of it's just connection, but I really have to watch The Boys season 1. I'm gonna binge season 1, season 2 when the whole season 2 comes out because it's been a long while since I watched season 1.
I watched it a few months ago with a friend of mine, but that was a rewatch. So
I watched it, I think, day 1. I actually watched it in the afternoon. I was like, you know what? This show doesn't really interest me. But then I saw the ad again on my Twitter page all over the place because Amazon, ads the hell out, they advertise the hell out of it. And I'm just like, you know what? I'll give it a watch. And I was like shocked how good it was. I'm just like, damn, this show's good.
yeah, and a lot of that is like the dialogue as well as the action, and some of the creativity they figure out. Okay, like and it is kind of satisfying when people like the Deep finally get their comeuppance, because Starlight like flips the script and just says screw it, and just says like a dude shoved his dick in my face and told me to suck it, and then like he just gets, it's actually like good use of the Me Too movement. Like where it's a good example of like the Me Too movement, but it's just like how like the Me Too movement should be used, I guess, where somebody actually says it didn't work, says as like he did this and he gets a at least like reprimand. Well, I guess like maybe even not, since he just gets reprimanded and thrown to like this backwater on like vacation.
Sandusky, Ohio.
What, he got grounded?
Pretty much,
Shocked.
yeah. Pretty much.
Which is
Though
what I also don't think. I don't think they'd be able to get away with that. I think they'd have to fire him. Like they just can't hide him under there. He's sexually abused, assaulted, like whatever the proper word.
sexual
I guess.
assault.
Yeah. I'm just like, you don't get away with that. Like he'd be gone. He wouldn't. Why do people still care about him? Like that's the stuff I'm talking about. That realistic. Like especially rape nowadays, you don't get away with that. You're done. You go to jail. You don't get to keep your job.
Superman without morals. Got it.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
It's actually quite fun, but yeah, it's up to. I was sort of shocked how much I like the show because I hated DC. I'm like, I don't like that dark stuff, and I'm just like, holy hell, I love this dark stuff now.
That's actually kind of funny because I remember liking both the Marvel animated TV shows as a kid and the DC animated TV shows as well.
Oh, my favorite show was The Batman, not the 1993 version, to the 2004 version. I loved that show.
The 90s animated Batman was my favorite.
Yeah, they're both great in the defense.
I've seen none of the 1990s Batman, but I've seen all of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
I still have to watch Justice League Unlimited and Teen Justice. I've heard those shows are great.
Teen Titans is good. Young Justice is very good.
Oh, Young Justice. Did I say Teen Justice?
Yeah, I thought you meant Teen Titans.
Yeah.
But like Teen Titans is okay, but Young Justice is excellent. Yeah. It's actually got an excellently crafted plot that actually locks together very well.
I actually like Teen Titans Go. I still like that show. It's because it's ingrained on me since a kid when I watched it. I'm just like, I still enjoy that show. It's still a good bit of fun sometimes. I haven't watched it in forever, but I probably should because it's funny how kid-like it is. Just like I can get a good amount of laughs out of it.
Pop, you get the fuck away from here!
So did you like it? Did you like it?
Do you hate Teen Titans Go?
I hate the idea of Teen Titans Go. I refuse to watch it.
You have to watch one episode, like 15 minutes each. Torment yourself to 15, or actually, I guess it's less because they have commercials, like 12, 13, 14. Torment yourself a little bit and just see if you like it or not, with an open mind.
I mean, I was meh about Teen...
No!
But Teen Titans Go is basically that, yes.
It seems as though Teen Titans Go is just Thundercats Go Lower Decks and all of these other terrible
Thundercats Roar is what you mean.
Thundercats Roar or whatever that stupid gimmick that's going around of stupid chibi animation.
I goddamn hate that bubble hair. Ugh.
I'm going to make a controversial statement now. The Batman show from the 2000s is better than the Batman animated series show from the 90s. I'm making a controversial statement now.
You have not watched the animated show from the 90s.
I actually watched a few episodes.
Before you say that.
I watched a few episodes, not my favorite.
So from what I understand, so I have seen all of the Batman, and I think that it's definitely not as good as the original animated show from the 90s, because the original show from the 90s was able to use different plot structure as well as more layered antagonists.
That's very true, I will admit. The only layered antagonist I would say is really Mr. Freeze, to be honest.
And Mr. Freeze
I
isn't
love
that
Arnold
layered.
Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, but we actually have another guy. Let me bring on.
Hello, yokai.
How's everybody
Batman.
doing?
Oh, you know what? I forgot about Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond is probably better than the Batman. I forgot about that. Batman
Yeah.
Beyond is freaking fantastic.
Part of another problem with the Batman that I have is basically not that it's basically just Batman comes up with a new gadget that solves the problem.
That's also
pretty-
true.
I mean,
And-
I get it. That is something he would do if he
That's also true.
decided that the stuff he doesn't have is not good enough for what he needs. But he's not all gadgets. He's a planner. He's crazy prepared.
It's kind of an excuse to make toys in a way, where you have Jetpack Batman, you have Glider Batman, you have Mech Suit Batman in order to
Oh,
fight
yeah,
Bane,
that-
which is the Hulk.
Well, I gotta
The-
say the gadgets are cool. It's not like the
are
design of all the
cool.
stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, I would
And,
agree.
Yeah, it's within his character to do that. So
That's also
where'd
true.
yokai go?
I don't know. Maybe it's
Though
his device isn't connected. Maybe it's just like maybe her mic and cam or something. But
I wish.
I think, but like in terms of like the plot structure, it's every single episode is Batman fights, Batman loses, Batman comes up with new gadget, Batman wins.
Yeah, that's fair.
pretty
But
much-
also to be fair, I think that describes a lot of shows on. You know why I like streaming shows more than shows on regular television?
Oh, I'm saying that is a problem. I'm not saying that that's unique
yeah.
to the Batman. I'm just saying that
Oh,
is
I
a
know.
factual assessment of the Batman.
Yeah, that's why I like streaming shows more often, because they don't deal with that bullshit. They're
Yeah.
like much more. They have more flexibility. They actually use the medium, unlike Grey's Anatomy, which is like save person, develop a little bit of relationship, save person, blah 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 blah. And that's that.
Grey's Anatomy is just a higher profile soap opera.
It's like what happens if General Hospital was on every single night in the 9 o'clock slot.
But I think I guess something to kind of round off, because
Oh,
we're
he's
kind of
back.
finishing up.
There you
We're
are.
kind of finishing up, unfortunately.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, perfect.
I do have to say that we're probably going to wrap up in a few minutes since I got to get to work.
It's all right.
Yeah. So, in terms of the boys, Alex, what would you say are like your top 5 moments from season 1?
Top 5 moments from season 1. Okay, I'd say number 5 is when Translucent got blown up. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd say number 4 would be when Starlight saves Huey at the end of the season. That was a very nice moment. I'd say number 3 was Homelander, killing Stillwell and that whole ending sequence. Number 2, I'm gonna go with the assassin, that's the name, the assassin versus whatchamacallit,
Black Noir
A Train.
versus
No, A Train. A Train. That's
the
what I'd
Assassin
say.
versus A Train.
Yeah, remember in the apartment scene and she breaks A Train's leg?
Oh,
Remember?
I was thinking that her name. Oh, I just Kimiko. You mean?
Oh,
I thought
Kimiko. They sometimes her name is also the assassin.
really? Okay.
Yeah. And number 1, I'm gonna have to say number 1 would probably be that the whole Homelander, flight sequence, the plane sequence.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. It just shows how much money they're pumping in the budget. Like, that's more realistic when the glass screen got broken and stuff. That's more realistic than an actual movie. You know how Superman saves planes all the times in the comics. So, like, that doesn't work. He has nothing to lift it on. He has no. How's he gonna lift it off the freaking air? He has nothing to lift it off of it. I'm just like, yes, finally, that's hilarious. You can't save a plane that way. Though we should have really, taken everyone off, taken them back down. Even if we could have saved some people, it's better some than none.
Well, it's easier to milk a tragedy.
Oh yeah, he was like, they didn't have to die. We have Homelander and Queen Maeve on the scene. They didn't have to die. Because, you're right, they didn't have to die. He was just a freaking crazy person, couldn't hold his lasers, and killed people, and, killed everyone on the flight. That Homelander murdered everyone on that flight. Terrorists may have taken over the plane, but Homelander killed everyone there. He was careless and reckless.
And
Yeah.
not fit to be a hero.
Yeah, very much not. Yeah, sorry, Yokai. I do have your intro. I just, force of habit, I didn't play it.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just curious about it.
Yeah.
So John, what would you say your top 5 moments would be?
Definitely would have to say the confrontation between Homelander and Butcher at the end. I think the introduction of Billy Butcher, where he just kind of comes up to Huey and he's just the dude who seems to have all the answers. I think the moment where Translucent does get blown up, that's a big one for me too. I thought that was like, wait, what? Mostly, I think,
Unexpected.
yeah, it's very unexpected.
It was a good way of. That's a good way you subvert expectations. It goes against Huey's character, but you can understand why he did it. Like, it was a 50-50 play. If he didn't do it, I'd understand that. If he did do it, I understand that, and I would be shocked either way, no matter what he did.
Yep. Especially since, like, for reference, basically they figure out, like, the way to get underneath through this guy's diamond skin is by shoving a bunch of C4 right up his jack hole and then detonating
Right
it.
up his.
Right
No,
up his
They stick it up the rectum, in the colon.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying.
Come on, Dunn. Use the proper anatomy. Come on.
up his butt. Yes.
The word is rectum and into the colon. Pay attention in health class next time.
I didn't take health class.
How did you not take
Oh,
health
that
class in high
explains it.
school?
I was homeschooled. I took biology, but I didn't take anatomy.
Oh, lucky you. I had to take health, and I'm cyber schooled. I have to take, cyber school's not homeschool, but lucky you. I still have to take health next year. I have to
I
take
took-
French too.
I took some health school, but I took health and wellness in college, but that was several years ago, and it's much more interesting. And I mostly kind of zoned out in school, and just did the easy homework.
I really hate homework. That's the good thing about cyber school is you have no homework. Yay! It's also really easy to get behind. It's really all about self-control, to be honest.
Thanks for spelling it out.
You're welcome. I love spelling things out. I'm really good at English sometimes when I choose to be.
Yeah. Let me think. What are some 2 other moments? I'm trying to name. I think when Starlight kind of comes out and the Deep just goes, oh crap.
Chris Crawford's so innocent as a person, and it's just like hilarious.
That's the guy who plays the Deep.
Yeah, Chris Crawford.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's just because he's kind of a sleazy douche in the show. I imagine that most of the people who play sleazy douches or psychos in movies are just the nicest people ever.
Oh, Anthony Clark is the nicest guy, to be honest. You know what? He is.
Same with Joffrey. Same with the kid who played Joffrey,
yeah.
Jack Gleason.
You know what? Do you watch the Prime Rewind, behind, the after show type thing?
I haven't, no. I'll do that.
You have to watch it, not only because it's good. He is literally Clark Kent.
Really?
He looks nothing like... He wears glasses. He looks nothing like Homelander. He's just like... Oh my, it's shocking. It was trending someone on Twitter. It was it's proof that Clark Kent would actually work.
Okay, so it's more like just a general discussion of season 1.
You know what, that did bring me up to an idea though, Dunn. For the next 3 episodes, do you want to do review streams on it? I'd be down to do that if you want.
Sure.
Alright,
sure,
well.
I'd be down. Just if we do... I think maybe if we do something next week for kind of it'll kind of be for the latest episode and kind of everything in all of the whole season so far, and then we'll kind of chat about it. I'd be down.
All right, and then we can do review videos for the following 2 episodes the night they come out, or the next day, I guess, Friday.
Alrighty, and I think that kind of the best way to kind of I think that maybe something that we could have done a little bit better is kind of go episode by episode and talk about it.
Yeah, which is why I think going episode by an episode review type thing is good.
Yeah, and we'll just kind of we'll just talk episode by episode and kind of just talk about our general thoughts about what happens, kind of a couple of good moments. I think that'll help with kind of a lot of these review shows where we're talking about something other than structure. But I got to get going, and I'm going to have to say, Alex, for saying that Teen Titans Go was good.
Pop, you get the fuck away from here!
So did you like it? Did you like it?
It's a good bit of fun, I say. It's a good bit of fun.
I'm kidding.
My thing, but Teen Titans Go makes Teen Titans look like
I didn't watch any of those shows yet, so I have to watch them on HBO Max whenever they get there because DC Universe is shutting down, so all that content's moving to HBO Max. I will watch it eventually because I grew up on Teen Titans Go.
I think you will end up liking Teen Titans better than Teen Titans Go.
Do you know they made a Teen Titans Go movie? And made good money.
It's literally called Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Yeah, how much did it make? It came out in 2018. It has a 91%.
It's trying to get out of here.
It has 91% on Rotten Tomatoes done.
Oh, so does The Last Jedi. That doesn't say much.
No.
Yeah, that's fair. See you, Don.
Alrighty, well.
Holy shit. Okay, we're going. Go!